After running the car through 2 washes, I'm not seeing any additional swirls or micro scratches on the surface of this car that was not already there beforehand. What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to be sacrificing my wife's brand new car to see whether or not these new and modern drive-through car washes still leave swirls and micro scratches on your car's paint. Now, the main takeaway and goal of this video is to help you decide how dangerous and or safe it is to run your car through a car wash. I will be taking the car through 2 different brands of car washes that were both opened within the past year. So they're supposed to be using the latest and greatest swirl-free technology that drive-through car washes have to offer. Just something else for your knowledge to know is I waited several weeks in between both of these washes to ensure the car was nice and dirty before being washed each time. So with all that being said, let's head over to the car wash and I will see you guys on the other side. So here we are at my local car wash. This is a brand new car wash, brand new brushes, everything supposed to be spot-free rinse, you know, no swirls, soft brushes, all that. So let's enjoy this car wash. Check out the damage afterwards. All the swirls going down the side of the car. All the swirls. Give them to me. So here comes the rinse cycle. I'm not gonna lie, these car washes are always really fun to like sit in. Okay, what the heck? That was like not a rinse at all. What was that? That was lame. There's the drying jets. Alright, I will see you guys on the other side. What's up, guys? I'm back from the car wash and back in my garage, and we're going to take a look at the side panel first because if there was any marring, swirling, or damage done from the brushes, this is most likely where it's going to occur because that's where they hit the hardest. So I know it's impossible for you guys to see, mainly because, you know, this paint is like that really flaky looking glittery stuff, but for my naked eye, and you're just going to have to trust me, I am right off the bat seeing some very light spiderweb streaks across right here. There's 1, 2. That's pretty much all I see. There is no large grouping or marring of heavy swirls, spiderwebs, if you will, along the side of the car. What I'm looking at right here, I don't see any swirl marks. Like I said, I saw like 1 or 2 spiderwebs over here, but that's it. If we move to other parts of the car, you know, I'm not seeing any swirling, marring up here. Again, the occasional spider web, but nothing that stands out and just looks absolutely atrocious. Now, what does stand out to me right here are all these dried soap spots all over the back of the car and the rest of the car. Unfortunately, these car washes, because they try to save on water, they don't really rinse your car off well enough, and you're left with all these dried soapy water spots on the back of your car. Now, these are not water spots because those car washes do use deionized water. So like I said, these are dried soap spots. And from having taken our cars, other cars through these car washes through the years, and having taken this car through it twice now, they do always go away and they don't leave any stains on the paint. But it just looks terrible afterwards. Okay, so let's walk around and take a look at the hood of the car. And right off the bat, I'm not seeing any swirl marks at all. Again, the occasional spider web, but in terms of like super apparent heavy damage, it's just not there. Here we are at the second car wash, and I did want to preface this part by saying I didn't get it on camera, but before we went through the actual drive-through portion, there were two wash attendants that came out with a pressure washer and these really long sponge rods that they weren't sponges. They were basically like scrubbing brushes that you would use to clean like a concrete floor. And I could have no-brainer told you that they were going to leave swirls in the car, and as I'm going to show you later, yeah. They absolutely destroyed the car everywhere that they used those scrubbing brushes. And if I had known beforehand they were going to do that, I would have told them not to. So just a little tip for you guys there. Do not let the attendants use any type of tool or scrubbing brush on your vehicle, because it seems to be that the machines themselves, as I'll explain later, don't seem to really leave heavy swirls and damage on your car's paint. If you're going to have any damage or swirls coming away from a drive-through car wash, it's most likely going to be inflicted by a wash attendant using some sort of device on your car. So with all that being said, let's now fast forward through the car washing part, because I want to bore you, and we'll skip to the damage. I got my big LED light right here, which is really good at finding swirls on the car's paint. Unfortunately, on the video, you can't see the swirls very well, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it. So I'm looking across the car's paint right now, and I am not seeing any swirls at all. Again, there is the swirls down here that I mentioned that were there prior to the wash, but you know, coming along downside the car, there is not any apparent heavy swirling damage, micro scratches at all. So, you know, especially these upper areas right here that are more evident and stand out more, there's no scratches. You can see on the pillar right here, there is all those swirls and scratches. But as far as the paint goes, there is no evident heavy swirling, scratching anywhere on this vehicle until you come down to the back areas, which are scratched the crap out of because of the brushes that were used by the guys at the second car wash. Let me show you how much damage they caused to the front of this vehicle. If we look right here, look at that. Oh my freaking gosh. They absolutely massacred the front of this car, and these scratches and swirls and damage just go all the way down the front of the vehicle. Now, luckily, they only use the brushes on the very front of the car and then on the very back of the vehicle. So if we look up on the hood, there's no damage or swirling on the hood of the vehicle, thank goodness. But again, if we come down here, you can see, get it to focus, all of these swirls and scratches and spider webs. And not to mention, the car wash also did a horrendous job of drying the soap off the car, and there's just dried soap spots all over this vehicle. It doesn't even look like it went through a car wash because there is so much dried soap all over the car. Just look at this. This is absolutely atrocious. Now again, I want to show you guys on the back because there was additional scraping damage on the back of this car. If I can find where it is, there's some right here, as you can see, right around the light. If we come down here, again, you can see some more swirling and damage and scratches because they used the brushes on the front of the car and on the back. As you can see, again, all those swirling and scratches. And if we look up here, if I can get this daggum thing to focus, more swirls and scratches, as you can see, all around the light. Now again, like I said, they only use the brushes on the front and the back of the car. So if we look up here, you know there's no scratches on the back panel of the car or the side panel. So my main takeaway for you from this video is I'm going to say that, you know, modern car washes that have been built within the past year or two are relatively safe. I'm going to say like 90% safe, 80% safe. You know, don't quote me on that. That's just based on my own experience. And, you know, having taken my car through a car wash, 2 different brands, and it not having any heavy swirling or damage on the vehicle from those washes, just due from the brushes on the inside, makes me feel comfortable to take my car through a car wash. Now, I do have to tell you this. If there are car wash attendants outside of the car wash that are using long pole brushes or something, absolutely do not let them touch your car with those, because from the damage I just showed you at the front, it is going to absolutely destroy your car's paint. So yeah, main takeaway, if you want to run your car through a car wash, there's a chance you could get very light swirls or marring on your vehicle. Now, obviously, the best way to ensure that you will not get swirls or scratches on your car's paint when washing your vehicle is to hand wash it yourself at home using a pressure washer and multiple mitts on each side of the car. I did a video talking exclusively how to professionally wash your car and, you know, do it swirl free. Link top right corner if you want to check that out. But you know, you can cause just as much damage, if not more damage, by improperly hand washing your car. So if you're going to hand wash your car at home thinking you're doing yourself a favor and not going to leave swirls on it, you need to ensure that you were doing it correctly, because for the longest time, I improperly washed my car, and the micro swirls and scratches on that car were like, honestly, like, they deserved a Nobel Prize. They were so bad. And I didn't realize that I had caused that. And I was like, how does my car have such bad swirls on it? It's never been through a car wash before. And that's because I was improperly hand washing it. So, like I said, you can cause more damage by improperly hand washing your car than a drive-through car wash can potentially cause to your vehicle. So that's just something to be aware of and take away. And, you know, like I said, if you do want to know how to properly hand wash your car and not leave swirls and micro scratches, be sure to check out that video I referenced, and you should be good to go. Now, one final takeaway and thing to consider if you're wanting to run your car through a car wash, but you're concerned about swirls, is what type of paint do you have on your vehicle? Is it super glittery and metallic-y, such as on the black car, or is it more of a flat color, such as on my other vehicle? If it happens to be a flat paint and doesn't have any of that glitter metallic-y aspect to it, it's going to show any type of imperfection or swirl super easily. Taking a close-up look for you guys right here, you can see around the light, there's all sorts of scratches, water spots, you know, all that was on there before I purchased this car. I just haven't bothered doing a paint correction because it's a lot of hard work. But, you know, again, if you have a car with metallic-y paint, it's not going to show swirls bad at all. Just put that in perspective, and to give an example is the car we had prior to this black one, it had the same metallic-y glittery paint, and we ran it through the car wash for about 2 or 3 years, you know, dozens of times a year. And for the most part, that car did not have any swirls in the paint, which is impressive, especially, you know, living up in a salty northern state and running it through a car wash after, you know, thousands of other people have gone through it with their cars covered in salt. That car did not really have bad swirls or scratches on it. Now, you know, over time, running your car through a car wash, you're probably going to build up swirls and scratches on it. But I want to reiterate and emphasize, if you have a car that has this glittery type of paint, it's going to hide it extremely well, and it's going to be very difficult to see unless you're putting a flashlight up to the car's paint. Now, again, if you have a car that doesn't have metallic-y paint, I would really strongly urge you think twice about running your car through a car wash, because if it does, and it probably will at some point, leave swirls and micro scratches on your car's paint, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And unless you have the capability and means of doing the paint correction on your car and know how, it's going to be very expensive to fix. So that's just my 2 cents and takeaway on the whole, should you take your car through a car wash type deal. You know, for the most part, it's relatively safe, and depending on the type of paint that's on your vehicle. So end of the day, though, it's a personal decision, personal preference, and you can decide for yourself. This video was just kind of give you some food for thought. I'm not going to try to tell you one way or another, yes, no, good, bad, take your car through a car wash, don't. I'm just kind of sharing with you my 2 cents, findings, and thoughts on the matter to kind of help you decide, you know, should you take your car through a car wash? Is it worth the risk? You know, so with all that being said, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. I'll see you guys next time. All right, now, bye-bye.